Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for another Monday this and that video where I answer a few questions that have come in. I give you updates on various things, a few little tips and tricks I feel like talking about, and whatever else. So let's get to the topics of today. The first one being a question I got in one of my recent live shows about, is it okay to mix herbs? And we're talking medicinal herbs in particular. And the answer, generally speaking, well, is yes, but it's going to depend on the herbs, and it's going to depend on what is best for you. And really what it comes down to is you got to find out what herbs are best for you before you even start mixing them. And then I also recommend researching each of those herbs to find out if they're okay to mix together, because there will be a few that probably are not going to be best to mix together, or at least not best for you to mix together. Now, I am one who's always experimented. I hardly ever look up to see if, just to be honest, if this herb is okay to mix with this herb. I just do it. I just try it a lot of times to see if it's going to work, if it's going to work the way I hope, or if I even can handle the flavor of it, be it in a tea or a tincture. Right here, I just grabbed this jar. It is my lamb's ear that I sometimes use for tea. One thing I love about using lamb's ear in tea is that it's got a very, very mild taste, but it's a pleasant flavor that also goes well with any other herb I want to mix it with. And I love it when I can do that. So, and by the way, I have a video in my playlist, my very long, it's got over 100 videos in it now, on herbs and more benefits and uses. And I have one in there on lamb's ear, its uses and its benefits, if you'd like to learn about that. But I'm just going to link to the whole playlist down below so you can also scroll through there and see what other videos I have. Then, like this elderberry tincture, which, yes, I still plan on doing a video on me making one of these, because I'm going to get another one going soon. But this isn't just elderberry. It's elderberry with cinnamon and ginger and cloves and star anise and I think a few citrus peels that I threw in there. And that's the kind of stuff I tend to mix together a lot because they have similar benefits that go well together, as well as a great flavor that goes well together. So again, I cannot stress enough the importance of finding what works best for you. And sometimes the best way to do that is to first try making teas or whatever with a single herb. And then from there, you can sample using different herbs or spices to mix in with that. Maybe just sampling 2 at a time and then working up to 3 at a time. It's all going to be dependent on you. But again, right from the start, when I first started making teas and tinctures from my own homegrown herbs, or even ones I've had to purchase, I just threw things together and mixed them together and never had a problem. No side effects, no issues, and they worked as expected in most cases. So yes, it can be done. Just keep in mind it's going to vary per person. So now another question that came in through email was somebody was asking me if I could recommend the best US made canning jars. The unfortunate thing about this is I really can't tell you that. The good thing is, the reason why I can't tell you much about that is because I haven't needed to buy canning jars in a very, very long time. In fact, over the past several years, any of the canning jars I have added to my stash, which is pretty expansive, of canning jars, has come from garage sales or people who are just no longer canning and just gave them to me. And I'm talking about a lot of all sizes and shapes. And so a lot of them are the ball and cur jars that, at least at the time, those ones were still made in the US. I cannot say whether or not they still are. I don't know. I tried to look into it. When I contacted the company directly, which is now both of them are owned by the same company, they claim they are still made in the US, but there's reasons why I'm not sure about that. I know that I've heard really good things about the jars that Azure Standard sells, but unfortunately right now those jars are made in China. Now what I'm hoping is that eventually they'll be able to get them made here in the US. I'm really hoping for that. But because I have so many jars, I haven't even tried them for myself, so I can't say that. But what I can tell you when it comes to lids, there are definitely ones that are made in the US. Not a whole lot anymore, but there are some, and that would be your Tatler reusable lids. There is another brand, I always forget the name of it, but it was that company. It's basically the same lid. It was offshoot from Tatler. That was part of Tatler, decided to break away, and they started their own business selling very similar lids with a different name. But yes, they're all made in the US. Then the metal lids that are made in the US are the Superb. They're the only ones I know for certain are actually made in the US. Your 4 jars are made in China. They are a US based business, but the lids are made in China. And just like with the jars, I suspect that the Kerr and the ball lids are all now also made in China. They're not made the same way they once used to be made. That's why I suspect that. But I do know the 4 jars lids because the company sent me some free ones just to try out, even though I didn't even ask. It was totally unsolicited. And I've used them, and they are great lids, but personally, for me, if I was to go purchase lids, I would, because I am given an option of good canning lids that are made in the US, I would stick with those. But I have a good supply of Tatler lids and even some Superb lids and even some ball and Kerr lids that I stocked up on years ago when they went on sale for a really great price in our local store. So that's what I have to say about that. However, if anyone else knows of some good US based, or if you're in another country and your country like Canada or Australia or somewhere in the UK makes their own canning jars, please share those down below. Share those companies, those jars, the ones that you know are good. I wouldn't know of any of those, and so I apologize. I just am more familiar what's made and sold in the US. Then another thing I wanted to show you is I know I have a short on this, which I'll just go ahead and put right here. And I can't remember, I don't think I did a standalone full-length video on this, but this is my onion powder. Now, I say my onion powder, but the thing is, you're probably wondering why it's the color it is. Look closely at that there. It's the Frontier brand granulated onion mixed with red onion skins that I dehydrated, made sure, most of them are pretty dry anyway, but some of them you peel off there, the real thin stuff that's still a little bit too tough, papery to use and whatever you want to use your onion in. I just let those dry next to my wood stove, and once they're fully dry, I put them in the coffee grinder I have set aside only for food products, not for coffee, and powder it up the best I can, and then mix it in with that. And it just, it's a really great way. I can just keep using those onion skins. Of course, there's other ways you can use onion skins, such as for making broth and more. But that's my preferred way right there. Okay, and then I wanted to show you this. If you guys watched one of my recent live shows, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was on this channel. I was in the process of making a Bible cover for Patrick's old King James Bible that he got when he was born. So, because I realized the date in there was 1964, and that was the year he was born. And so I needed a smaller Bible to carry to our fellowship on Saturdays. I decided to do that and make a cover for it so it's really easy to carry, because we always park a ways away and walk down there to leave lots of parking closer for the people who have a harder time walking. And then I even have bookmarkers. It's just a long piece that I crochet, just a chain stitch, and then I tie it here. And now I've got a couple of markers. I can, if I feel like I need 4, I can make another one of those and do the same thing. And I've done that with Bible covers before. Sometimes I'll make a strap that goes here and then you button it, but I find it's really not that necessary, and it just kind of gets in the way more than anything. But this is going to be definitely nice, make it a lot easier than carrying my big, huge Bible that I have, that I don't have a cover made for. And I love that I can just throw it over my arm like that if I need free hands. So anyway, there's that. I just wanted to show people the finished product there. And I've made all kinds of different ones. Basically with this, I just did one piece that wraps around. Just one piece. Just kept working on it, and you know, to get it to the size I wanted, and then folded it over and stitched the sides down and the inside out, then turned it the other way. Then I just crocheted the handles directly on there. And yeah, it's actually pretty simple to do, but you can make it fancier. You can put a fancy border on it, and like the one I made for my mom years ago, I actually made little 3D flowers and stitched them on there. And so it's a fun thing, but it can make it, especially if you're packing your Bible, because you really want it to carry a hard copy Bible or whatever book it is you want to carry somewhere. That definitely makes it easier. And then I also want to show, I got my first order of the big bags of the Shepherd's Crook coffee. So once I decided, I tried 6 different ones, and I love them all, but my top 2 favorites were the Columbia and the Shepherd's Blend. And so when you order the big bag, it's a set of 2. You can do both the same, you can have each one different. And I like having different ones where I can switch them up, and I still may get do this with a couple of the other ones, but these are my top 2 favorites. And this is a little better way to go because you can get a better price. I do suggest starting with smaller bags of it so you can taste it first, find out which ones you like best. You can get them pre-ground. You pay a little bit more for the pre-ground. I always buy the coffee beans and then just grind them up myself. That way it's a little more fresh. You pay a little bit less, and their shelf life is far longer than the grounds. But I've actually never had coffee go rancid on me, ever. And I've had coffee beans, ground coffee, stored for years without there being any issue. And you can also stock up on green coffee beans and roast your own. I actually do have a bunch of green coffee beans in storage. That's going to be more for long term. And I have tried roasting some myself, and it was pretty good. I really liked it. But the price wasn't really any better to get the organic green coffee beans, where the Shepherd's Crook, they get organic coffee beans. And they're a great small U.S. business, really great people. And if you haven't ordered from them before, it's just shepherdscrookcoffee.com, if I forget to put the link down there. But if you've never ordered and you would like to try their coffee, use coupon code RAIN25 and you can save 25% on your very first order, which is pretty cool. All right, then another thing is that I mentioned this in a recent live show as well, but I had to remove my old mascara video. Well, it's not that old. I had a couple of them out there. I had an old one, and then I had a semi-old one, because I realized a certain substance was mentioned in there. So I had to remove it, edit it, and re-upload it. So if you're looking for my mascara video, which I'm wearing, my homemade mascara, it'll be publishing, I think, on January 30th. So in about a month, you should be seeing that video republish again here on the main Rain Country channel. Not on Rumble, because I already have the full video over there that includes the mention of that particular substance. But you can find it if you would like to go see the original. You can go to my Rumble channel, which is always linked in the description box. And I should have a playlist that's for health and beauty, I believe. If not, I'll try to get that created, and you'll find it in there. Or you can just do a search, Rain Country Homestead, all one word, mascara. It should pull it up. That thumbnail is a picture of my face with a pink background, where the new one that I'm putting here will have, it's the same photo of me, but with a red background. I decided to change it because I was actually wearing red. Because I'm funny that way, you guys. You know, over the past several years, I've got to where I actually plan my wardrobe to match whatever I know the color is that I want to use for my backdrop, or the color of something that I'm creating, something that would have to do with that. I know it's silly, but I'm just funny that way. That's what I do. Somebody else was asking for a series on recycling, upcycling. I actually have a series. I just looked, there's 13 videos in there on upcycling and recycling. So I will put the link to that in the description box down below. That doesn't mean we can't add more, and Mr. Rain could most certainly make a couple of his own videos that he could put in there, or at least one of things that he likes to upcycle, recycle, or whatever. And then I want to bring up again my Rain Country 2 channel. You'll be seeing another video publishing, where a standalone video where I talk about it here on this Rain Country channel. And even though it's a backup channel, I plan on becoming just as active on that one as I am on this one once I can get that monetized. I cannot fully monetize it until I reach that 4,000 watch hours. As of the time that I'm shooting this video, it shows I have 1,300 watch hours, so I'm over a quarter of the way there, which is great. I know that's been thanks to a lot of people who have just allowed my all videos playlist to just play in the background while they're doing other things to help me build those watch hours. Once I can monetize, I can, even though YouTube is putting commercials on my content anyway, wherever they want, once I monetize, I can do my own settings over there. And then I actually get some of the revenue instead of YouTube getting it all. So it's another good reason to build that up, so YouTube isn't getting all of the revenue off my hard work. So anyway, that's what's going on there. It's just so you have the backup. It does, if nothing else, it does seem to be having a positive effect on this channel here, which is good. So maybe the two feeding off each other is a good thing. So please, if you're not subscribed to my secondary channel, please go subscribe there as well, because you'll still be trying to put out the same great content just on both platforms. That way, if one, which would be this one, ends up getting taken down, I'll definitely have an established channel still here on YouTube that I can then move all of my old content to. Well, maybe not all of it, but quite a bit of the, probably the more recent years kind of stuff. And then there's always my Rumble channel where I can have videos that I can't have on YouTube at all. So, and I do. In fact, I have a whole playlist of videos over there that's videos that can only be found on Rumble and not on YouTube at all. So if you're not subscribed over there, I suggest you do. They're getting things better all the time. They have finally recently added closed captions, as well as they have the video speed adjustments, the playback adjustments, playlists, and so much more. They're just getting better every day, and I really, really appreciate that. Hopefully they'll fix the glitchiness of it playing on smart devices that I know some people have. So that will, I trust that will keep getting better as well, just like everything else. Everything takes time. It took a long time for YouTube to get to where they are, so you got to expect it's going to take a while for Rumble to be able to catch up. Anyway, I just want to say thanks again to everyone who's given me the watch hours, who keep supporting me on all of my different platforms, be it my 2 YouTube channels, my Rumble channel, or my other social media platforms such as X, Facebook, and Instagram. And just constantly showing your support and love just by watching, liking my videos. That does so much. Or sharing them with whoever you think could benefit from the stuff I have to share. And thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.